This is Scott Becker with the Becker Private Equity and Business Podcast. And today's discussion is digging deeper into life, the differences between men and women. One of the things that we find in discussions with friends, male and female, is sometimes, and this is a broad stereotype, is sometimes the willingness of women to dig deeper and do a better job on preventive care, digging deeper into subjects and analyzing subjects and thinking about them. This could hold true in business. It could hold true in relationships. It could hold true in a lot of things. And often men ready to go off into the world, half thought out, half deliberate, and just moving forward. It might be one of the reasons why women do so much better on deliberate preventive care, where men end up not screening as often and ending up in trouble at later times because they've not made the effort to screen, and women catch things earlier. It might be like, as Kevin O'Leary says, women do such a better job in business as CEOs because they're more careful, they're more smart, they do a better job of setting rational goals and achieving those goals versus setting out BHAG or unthought out goals and not as deliberate as intentional goals. It might be why in some situations men are just willing to sort of live through life as it is, where women sometimes want to dig deeper into all kinds of difficult and challenging issues. I guess at the end of the day, the real answer is somewhere in between. The broad answer, the stereotypical answer that women approach things one way, men approach things another way, it's probably dead wrong. I watch it in my own family, where my sisters and mother are so much better on day-to-day preventive care than I am, so much better at digging into certain things than I am, and so forth. And with some of the other wonderful people I get a chance to visit with that just think a little bit deeper than my father and I might do so. Or my son thinks pretty deeply, so I shouldn't put him in that same category. But I do think this issue of digging deeper into life, sports, business, relationships is such an important subject. I find some bias here with women being better at this than men, but that may just be a broad general bias and just my own experience versus the reality of life. Thank you so much for listening to the Becker Private Equity Business Podcast. Again, this is not really a business podcast. It's an observational one. I hope you enjoy it nonetheless. Thank you for listening to the Becker Private Equity Business Podcast.